Yeah, you know, no matter how wonderful a teacher may be, or no matter how great a system may be, you know, there's always going to be, you know, it's a human system. No matter how high or how high one thinks a temple may be, it is made up of human beings as well as other beings too. But it's, you know, it's made up of, you know, the monks, the nuns, and lay people, and you have people coming in with various, you know, from various types of backgrounds and various types of problems. So when one lives in a monastery, you're going to be exposed to many different types of people. There's going to be crazy people, there are going to be thieves, you will have monks that you trust, but then all of a sudden they may turn on you and then you question that. You may have people that, you have manipulative people, both within the monastic side and on the lay side. What you see in a temple mirrors what is in society. And that is something that was one of the concepts that I had that was shadowed for me. I had a kind of a concept of the temple being this pristine place where people are practicing. But any temple, and especially a temple like Wat Sangatana, is a very organic, nuts and bolts place where, yeah, you have your meditation practice, but you have a gamut of people that are there with different types of agendas. Most people have an agenda to serve the Dhamma, but that's not always the case. One of the difficulties is that one has to look out for manipulation, both on the monastic side and on the lay side. People have, I said, various agendas, and one of the things that can be difficult is that if one has a particular skill, for example, being able to speak English, it can be it can be used for very helpful purposes in helping people then learn English so that they can maybe help others, say within a temple. But it also can be misused, and it just can become like everybody thinks, well, you're the English-speaking monk, you need to just teach anybody. Just sometimes one of the other difficulties is that when one thinks about monastics, a lot of times you have an idea of like, oh, that person must be enlightened, or because they've been a monk many, many years, they're very much along the path. But a monk is also a human being, and sometimes there's inappropriate behavior even if one is a senior monk, and that is something that one has to just come to when you come to a temple, that can be the case. Go back to the heart. If you have a hunch that something's not right, then know that, because that can be a difficult thing, and especially if you get into a role with, say, a teacher, and say yourself and a teacher, if something doesn't feel right or something feels off-put, you can talk to the teacher about it, but if it persists, then that means you may have to go elsewhere. So many of the difficulties, I think, with being in a temple is that one has a concept of what one thinks, say, a monastic life is or what a meditation life is. And when you really get into any type of temple, it's going to really challenge you. A lot of it can be very mundane, orientated type tasks that one may be asked to do or to participate in that doesn't seem so holy. But that is part of a training. But it's something that one has to be willing to let go of whatever concept you may have. Hey, it's just a concept, it's just transient, just like anything else, and just maybe go with the flow. But sometimes it's not easy to go with the flow, because sometimes the demands from the lay side and the monastic side can be very intense. Sometimes one has to pull back a little bit and take some time out for oneself and one's own practice. You have to keep always evaluating, is a place appropriate for me? Is it helping furthering my spiritual practice? Is it putting me along the path? And that is something that one has to be very, very rigorous with in their own practice and asking those questions. Because the difficulty of daily life in a temple, from just say a particular regimen that's followed to, say, lapses in the discipline that may occur, one has to be constantly evaluating, getting a sense of where's the community at this point in time, and where is it going? Is it where I would like to go to? These are some of the fundamental things that are part of the spiritual component that sometimes we don't. I know sometimes with myself I kind of poo-pooed, I kind of put back there like, oh, just kind of go with the flow. But sometimes one has to be very rigorous in saying, there's something amiss here, let's see where we need to go from here. And don't feel guilty about that. It's good to question, but you might not need to ask everybody. Make sure that you ask certain people that you have a trust and confidence in. If one is, say, experiencing some difficulty within a particular environment, ultimately you will be led in the right direction, whether it's with a particular place or maybe moving on to someplace else.